After over a decade since his introduction into the MCU in Thor, Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye finally got his solo project with Hawkeye. Like Black Widow, it was, frankly, long overdue, seeing as he was established as one of the integral characters within the franchise. Hopefully, fans won't have to wait very long to see Clint Barton again, especially now that he's got a protege, Kate Bishop, to mentor. Although he's a somewhat reluctant hero, someone who would much rather be doing something else, he doesn't let his personal feelings stop him from doing his part, since he knows he has the ability to help. In fact, he might have some of the noblest intentions of MCU heroes, because he also doesn't shy away from the consequences. This isn't a hobby or a part-time job. Though they're the ones shooting the arrows, they're the ones with the target on their backs. He knows that his choice to keep picking up his bow comes with a heavy burden, and he still chooses to do it, making peace with the reality of each situation, like when he willingly got caught in Captain America: Civil War so that Steve and Bucky could get away. 9. I see better from a distance. The Avengers, there's a reason he's called Hawkeye, and this line best exemplifies it. It's a one-liner so seemingly classic for such a character that it could have been pulled right out of a comic book. Importantly, this line denotes his alternative approach that sets him apart from the pack and his fellow SHIELD agents. He's incredibly specialized and knows where his talents best lie. He works best at a distance, not only so he can aim, but also so he can get the whole picture. However, this doesn't mean he shouldn't be underestimated. When up close and personal, he is still a particularly formidable foe, being able to fight back against Black Widow, Black Panther, and more quite well. They were more than partners and colleagues, they were family, although, for a long time, it was misinterpreted and/or misled as a romantic connection. As such, losing her had a massive impact on him, especially in the way he lost her in Avengers: Endgame. This moment in Hawkeye is incredibly touching as he visits a memorial for the Battle of New York, reaching out to his lost friend. It best exemplifies the role she played in his life and how his journey has evolved since her death. It will be interesting if this sort of relationship will happen with Kate and Yelena, or perhaps other Black Widow-related characters. 7. Well, I played 18, shot 18. Just can't seem to miss. Captain America: Civil War. If Clint Barton is anything, he's confident in his talents, and he's clearly got the goods to back it up. His precision and accuracy are a sight to behold, so his statement here during the airport fight in Captain America: Civil War is unsurprising. In fact, with the return of Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio as Daredevil and Kingpin, respectively, the door is open to bringing in Bullseye, Wilson Bethel, too, from Daredevil. He can also hit any target and even poses as Hawkeye on the Dark Avengers, so perhaps he could be incorporated in Thunderbolts. 6. You better call it Coulson, because I'm starting to root for this guy. What some fans might forget is that Jeremy Renner's introduction into the MCU as Hawkeye was in Thor. It was a small cameo while Thor tried to get back Mjolnir, and he only had a few lines. However, this one in particular perfectly reflects who he is as a character and how he fits in the MCU formula. This quote is right on brand for the MCU. No matter how serious the moment, there's always time for a joke. It also teases that he and Thor would eventually become unlike allies, teammates, and friends, though intriguingly, they barely interact over the subsequent films. 5. You don't think they need me? Avengers: Age of Ultron. Hawkeye is by far the most underrated Avenger both by real audiences and the actual inhabitants of the MCU. For example, his role in the Battle of New York was downplayed in Rogers, the musical, choosing rather to have Ant-Man take part when he wasn't a thing yet. Even Clint partly treats himself as a lesser hero and downplays his importance. This moment is quite interesting as it highlights small insecurity as he questions who he is when compared to gods like Thor and Captain America. While important to his story and to who he is as a hero, he doesn't give up and keeps fighting to that bitter end, which is a good thing with villains like Kang, Thunderbolts, and more waiting in the wings. 4. But if you step out that door, you are an Avenger. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Along with Natasha, Clint also develops a deep connection with Wanda Maximoff, so much so that perhaps he could have helped to prevent her descent in WandaVision and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. She was blaming herself for letting her quest for revenge distract her from the truth, and he was able to motivate her to keep fighting against Ultron while essentially dubbing her an Avenger. These are the moments when he proves that he is a true hero. He also says, "I'm going back out there because it's my job," inviting her to join the nonsense and save the day. Three. Yeah, hell be missed, quick little B-starred. I miss him already. Avengers: Age of Ultron. While he connected with Wanda, Pietro, on the other hand, was far from his favorite. That epic pep talk leads right into this hilarious joke about him shooting Pietro for being sassy and calling him an old man. Again, it's another moment of levity to break up the spectacles and drama of the action sequences. With the multiverse broken open from Loki, Pietro could finally return, and his relationship with Hawkeye could be explored more. That does seem likely given Wanda's current fate and popularity, with the Scarlet Witch film high on fans' interest, as well as mutants finally being incorporated with the reveal in Ms. Marvel that Kamala is one in the MCU. 2. Whatever man. It's a trick. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Along with being sarcastic and clever, Hawkeye is characteristically cynical. He believes what he sees before him unless proven otherwise. That's the case here when talking about how Thor is the only person worthy of lifting Mjolnir. While he's made peace with the fact that Thor is an alien, he still doesn't believe in all the magic mumbo-jumbo. His mentality likely changed drastically after the events of the subsequent films and having teamed up with wizards and other aliens to fight Thanos in Avengers: Endgame. Although he'll likely never be worthy of lifting Mjolnir, as with his fellow Avengers, minus Captain America, that still doesn't mean he's any less a hero. 1. Kate, you're my partner. Your mess is my mess. Hawkeye. So this is Christmas, Season 1, Episode 6. His newest partnership with Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld, started out quite rocky. He wasn't in the market for a protege or someone to work with. In fact, he had essentially retired from being an Avenger, from being Hawkeye. Her lovable charm is able to break down his walls, and over the course of Hawkeye, he does come to view her as his new partner. Thus, he is back in the thick of it and accepts the consequences of that choice, taking on her problems as his own, while also bringing her into his family. The dynamic between them is incredibly entertaining, and many fans are eager for more. So far, it hasn't been confirmed whether Hawkeye would be a single-season show like WandaVision, or if it would return like Loki. Hopefully, more information could be revealed at the D23 Expo in September.